For the next step in painting the vermin from Project Pandora, as you see they're red and they've had some washes applied to them. To get this sort of pre-highlighted shaded red colour for their armour, just one example. There's a second example. As you can tell, they're lighter from the top and have very great shading underneath. There's the third one. Just a quick look at them. To get this, first of all, obviously you saw in the previous step these ethereal priming. To get the red armour colour, what I used Vallejo Model Air red, well scarlet red in this case, mixed 3 parts this to 1 part Vallejo Glaze Medium. This sort of makes the paint semi-transparent, almost like a candy paint. And then that's left to dry for a good hour and a half. Because when you add the glaze medium, it increases the drying time. Then I applied a mix of Citadel Carrienberg Crimson, 3:1 with Devil and Mud, or you could use Adrax Earthshade, whichever you have on hand, they're the same colour. Once that was dry, I accelerated with the hairdryer. I then went over it with my second ink to get the deepest recesses, which is Vallejo Game Colour Ink Sepia. About 1 to 2 parts of that. This is quite a heavily diluted wash. To 1 drop of matte medium, which takes away the shine of the ink, and then it's all thinned with a painting alcohol mix that I make myself. This is, as it says on the back there with my terrible handwriting, it's 5 parts Surgical Spirit to 11 parts water. So that actually thins down alcohols very well, thins down Citadel washes very well without losing any of the adhesion. If you use water, I find it sometimes causes the pigments to separate, where with the alcohol it actually suspends the pigments in a solution. So it increases the drying time and also gives you better coverage in the long run. You can't use it for thinning down things like Vallejo Liquid Golds because they need practically neat alcohol. I'll probably do a how-to video on how to paint with the Vallejo Liquid Golds shortly. But that's where I am now with these guys. There's another 9 of them in the other room, but these are just examples that I've got at the minute because I'm batch painting them. So what I'll be doing next is I'll be picking out things like their loincloths down here. I'm going to do those in a yellow colour. I've actually got a test miniature I did. I painted the Sergeant as a test miniature just to see how I wanted to paint them, and then I modified it a little bit because I found he was looking a little bit too bright. Didn't quite want him that bright. So that's at this stage. So my next update, you'll probably see most of the base coating done, like the metalwork, the flesh, and the yellows that I'm going to be using for the like loincloths and stuff. But that'll be then heavily weathered and grunged up because the actual story of the Project Pandora game is these rats have infested cargo vessels, and you know they're not exactly the cleanest of areas. They're crawling through ducting, scurrying under floors, you know, rummaging through cargo containers, all that sort of thing. So they're not exactly going to be very clean. And then once I've finished painting all these guys, it's then the Corporation Marines that go with them. There's 10 of those guys, 2 Rangers out of the 10. This should look very good once they're finished. So thanks for catching up with this update. Until next time, cheers.